A pleasant day to everyone. I am ANCHETA from BSc 1-3, and today I will be discussing rational choice theory and routine activity theory. So without further ado, let's begin. To begin with, rational choice theory originated during the late 18th century with the work of Cesar Beccaria. Since then, the theory has been expanded upon and extended to include other perspectives such as deterrence, situational crime prevention, and routine activity theory. So, the one you will see in the picture is Mr. Cesar Beccaria. He was an Italian criminologist and economist. In the early 1760s, Beccaria helped form a society called the Academy of Fists. It was dedicated to economic, political, and administrative reform. So, in connection to rationality, free will enables people to make choices. So, Mr. Cesar Beccaria believes that free will enable people to make choices. And my understanding regarding this is that in that case, it only focused that humans had a rational mindset and used it to make decisions that will assist them to attain their personal goals. What is rational choice theory? Rational choice theory in criminology views man as a reasoning actor who weighs means and ends, costs and benefits, and make a rational choice. The foundation of rational choice theory is behavioral choices. That includes the choice of person to engage in criminal activity based on intent, premeditation, and that the possible benefits outweigh the risk. Rational choice theory orients every individual and societal behavior that can be better understood using rational choice theory. It aids in determining why groups, individuals, and society overall make certain decisions, depending on cost and benefits, and the rational choice theory can also be used to explain why people tends to be irrational in various ways. Are the main proponents of rational choice theory. In here, we are going to talk about the proponents of rational choice theory. First on the list is Mr. Gary Becker. He was a leader of the third generation of School of Chicago Economics and a professor of economics and sociology at the University of Chicago. In proposing the rational choice theory, Gary Becker believed that an individual would act rationally to minimize the cost and maximize the benefit of committing a crime. So, cost means the negative outcomes that can result from committing a crime, while the term benefit means the positive outcomes that can result from committing a crime. And in this statement of Mr. Gary Becker, it only means that if every single person would likely to be irrational in terms of thinking and the way they act, then we can reduce the negative outcomes from committing a crime. And according to Becker, criminals are rational beings who try to maintain a normal life by avoiding situations that lead to jail time. Imagine if all person in this world is being rational all the time, then we can conclude that we can lessen the crime rate. Thus, being rational means you are aware of what is right and what is wrong, so that we can avoid a life in prison. The second proponent is Mr. James Q. Wilson. He was a professor of government at Harvard University. He has studied criminology for more than 40 years and has written several books and articles. So, James applied the principles of rational choice theory to his study of the causes of crimes. He believed that different people are motivated to commit crimes because they have different perceptions of the cost and benefits associated with criminal activity. So for example, I am living in a silver lining with so many squatter people because of poverty and lack of food, and then I tend to do crime such like stealing money and food to survive. It's just that we have no choice because we have this perception of we did this crime on a purpose that it will help my family to escape hunger. I became rational in this point because I did this on a purpose to help. But if the authority caught my action, then it would be irrational because I did it, but their perception is against on me. The last but not the least is Mr. Friedrich von Hayek. He was an Austrian economist, legal theorist, and a philosopher who is best known for his defense of classical liberalism and is generally regarded as one of the most brilliant and influential economists of the 20th century. He believed that law-abiding behavior depends on the way rules are defined. According to Hayek, rules should be unambiguous so that people can act accordingly. And when rules are clear, people will not need to waste time and money finding loopholes for committing a crime without getting caught. Therefore, they will choose to follow the rules and there will be less criminal activity. It only says that he wanted to make law clear to everyone so that people in society will obey it and will result to better organized society. And by making a law that is clear to everyone, and if every person has a deeper understanding, then that's it. We can reduce the criminality and criminal activities. And just always remember that nullum crimen nulla pena sine lege, or there is no crime when there is no law punishing the act. So we must put in our mind that rules are very essential tool for crime not to happen. Let's proceed to the next slide. The rational choice theory has been applied to a wide range of crimes, including robbery, drug use, and vandalism. For example, if I were to put myself in that case doing that various crimes such as robbery, drug use, and vandalism, I must first to put in my mind what would happen to me if I became involved in that crime. So in that point, I will be considering the rational behavior and being a rational person, which means I were to decide if I would choose to be involved in that crime or not. You are being rational by choosing the good side over the bad side. In a simplest term, we humans use rational calculations to make rational choices. One of the best examples of rational choice theory is the white-collar crime. I will give an instance. For example, me, I am working in a well-known bank as a head manager, and because of being dazzled by the large amount of money, I decided to steal money from my clients' accounts. And I concealed the theft without them knowing it, and then uses the money to fund my extravagant lifestyle, which means I committed a crime that I myself can benefit from it. And by assessing my choices as a white-collar criminal, I conclude that personal advantage of stealing money surpasses the risk of being caught. And to sum up, human beings behave rationally according to rational choice theory, either in the narrow sense of rational self-interest or in the broader sense of rational decision-making based on preferences. Let's move on to the next topic, which is the routine activity theory. So before anything else, let us know the first definition of routine activity theory. Routine activity theory is based on the idea that offenders make rational choices about whether to commit a crime, and yes, you've heard it right. Routine activity theory is somehow correlated to rational choice theory. Routine activity theory is a theory that tries to explain why crime happens. It is very well known in the fields of criminology and sociology and was originally developed by Lawrence Cohen and Marcus Felson. This picture in the black suit is Mr. Lawrence E. Cohen. He is a professor of sociology at the University of California at Davis, and on the other picture is Marcus Felson. He is the originator of routine activity approach of crime and everyday life. He is also authored Crime and Nature and serves as a professor at Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. They are the person behind the formulation of developing of routine activity theory. The elements of routine activity theory. This is the triangle of crime in routine activity theory. The triangle of crime in routine activity theory consists of motivated offender, suitable target that has value, visibility, and access, and the absence of a capable guardian. So without further ado, let's begin with the discussion of motivated offender in routine activity theory. The motivated offender is fascinated in this, despite the fact that it is one of the three central aspects based on Cohen and Felson. They merely assume that the presence of a motivated offender, they aren't concerned with the motivation of the criminal. This is where the idea differs from the most criminological theories, in which it focuses on the reasons why offender desires to commit a crime. Routine activity theory, on the other hand, is more concerned with the victimization, which is why it is so influential in victimology. Then, let's proceed to the next element, which is the suitable target. When we say suitable target, we are about to answer the question how and what makes a target suitable. There are factors that has impact in suitable target. The first one is value. The value of a target, for example, I am in a place where I am not particular, or to be specific, in a narrow street with uncertain people. And for example, I have expensive phone in my hand and a lot of money in my bag. There is an instance that I may be a victim of theft or crime because of the properties that I have and because of the place that is not safe. And the second one is the target's visibility. For example, I am in a narrow street and I have jewelry such as Rolex and precious bag. It can caught the attention of predators, and there is a chance or an instance that I would become their prey, which means they're gonna be attacking me because of the things in me that caught the offender's attention and desire to commit a crime against on me. And the last one is the target's access. For example, I myself in a public place doing shopping some important and precious stuffs, which is not safe, especially when I am alone. But then again, I became a vulnerable person in which there is a chance that I will not be able to defend myself. Therefore, I became a suitable target for the offender. And let's proceed to the last element, which is the absence of capable guardian. The absence of capable guardianship is the third requirement for a crime to occur. The term guardianship can be interpreted in a variety of ways. Of course, the police come to mind since they can prevent crime, but guardianship has much larger definition. In fact, the presence of ordinary people can often deter criminal activity. Overall, the routine activities theory states that when these three elements are present, crime happens. In that way, crime is a byproduct of regular life, not something special. It happens when people's daily routines, such as how they get to school or work, provided possibilities for crimes, such as when a motivated offender comes across an object or victim who is not well protected. And when these three elements come together at the same time, in the same space, then crime would definitely occur. And that would be the end of my discussion. I hope you learned something, and thank you, and always keep safe.